What's going on, world, and welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, where we talk about how to enhance your relationships and crush those professional goals each and every single Thursday on your favorite podcasting platform and YouTube. I'm your host, the Kameron Lovelace, joined as always by the newly engaged Dr. Sarah Benson. Sarah, what's going on?
Cam, I am on cloud 9. But honestly though, like I'm really good. These last 3 days have been a literal whirlwind for me. From getting engaged to turning 30 to getting back to work, like I feel like I've just been constantly going.
Yeah. So if you follow the podcast on Instagram, Pursuit_podcast, you will see that Dr. Benson newly got proposed to by her boyfriend, boo thing, Mr. Kenneth Loggins.
Yeah, I see my shirt.
So and now she got a whole shirt now. It's been
my friends
3 days. 3 days.
So a little sidebar. Apparently Ken had been planning this for a while. And so all of my friends and everybody close to me knew. So my birthday gifts from a few of my friends were like different, like cute, like shirts. And so like my friend Kalisha, she got me a shirt that said Future Mrs. Loggins on it. This shirt says fiance, my childhood best friend who she wasn't able to come to the party. She sent me 3 shirts that she told me that I could not open until my birthday. And so I was like, okay. She was like really serious. She like texted me Friday. She's like, hey, your gifts will be here on your birthday. Do not open them or I'm gonna cut you. So I was like, you gonna cut me? She was like, yes. So I was like, I'm not gonna open these gifts. And so this was one of them. So it was 3 shirts. So this was one that says fiance, like Beyonce. Another one says hello 30. And it has like a 3 and a heart. And then the other one said that it's really cute. It's like a ring, and it says, I said occur. Like
Cardi B.
Like Cardi B. Wow. So, yeah.
I'm glad that you had a great, marvelous 30th birthday party. You know what the funny thing is? So we walk in, me and Sparkle. We walk in, and Emily's dressed up. Now, mind you, at this point, me nor Sparkle had any idea what was about to happen.
Really?
So we didn't know, and I think she would have told us, but you know, Sparkle got a new phone numbers recently, so I think she would have told them in the front end, but because she changed numbers, it didn't happen. So we walk in, right? So we see Emily dressed up. We see a couple people, you know, dressed up, whatever. We're like, this is fancy, you know. He dressed up. We got the tables up there. Okay, I see you there, Sarah, dressing up, going big for the 30th. Okay, I ain't mad at you. And she's like, I think he gonna propose. I was like, what? They only been dating a year, babe. I was not putting pressure on them just because they in their 30s. You know, you know how people do. You know how people do. So I'm like, chill. Why you even put that out there like that? Like, calm down, all that good stuff. And so she was like, nah, I think he gonna propose. He was like, okay, because now one thing about Sparkle, she always is quick.
Okay.
To jump to, I think he gonna propose, or I think she pregnant.
Really?
She's quick. Those 2 things.
With everybody.
Wow. If she ain't seen you in a while,
she pregnant.
She ain't post on social media. She only posting face up. She got to be pregnant. She got to be pregnant. But I said, everybody is not pregnant. Now I will say, sometimes she's been right.
Okay.
Sometimes she's been right. Okay. As far as the stuff like that, but the proposal thing, she's less right. Like more often than not, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm like, okay, tell you what, let's put some bet. Let's put a bet on it. Let's bet. I said let's bet. She said $1. I said, what I look like betting $1? So what? I said, if he doesn't propose, you owe me a cheesecake. You gotta bake a cheesecake. Okay. She was like, okay. So what I get? I said, what you want? She bet me a seafood boil. I was gonna say the crab seafood boil. If y'all, oh man. And so we talking to Kalisha, who got you the shirt, and she's like, "Hey, is something up? Something been planned?" It's like, "Yeah, he gonna propose." Oh man, he's like, "Yes, I knew it." So, yes, and then 30 minutes later, Sarah come down. Now, you know what the crazy part is?
What?
I think he had full intention on proposing, like, maybe as soon as you came in.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I'm pretty sure he probably told you, but I think he might have had some cold feet, got nervous when, like, you first came in. I don't know what the situation was. But you walk me through your perspective. What happened?
Right. So he told me. So what happened was, because we talked about it, of course, afterwards. So he said that, so the plan was, I was going to come in, everybody's going to sit down, and everybody's going to be cool. And so his best friend who was there, JP, had the ring. And so him and JP were going to like step out. JP was going to give him the ring. And he was going to give JP his phone to video. And the song was going to play. And so he was going to wait till after like we had been sitting and eating and stuff. A little bit, okay. Right. However, he said that people kept like rushing him in a sense because they was like, oh, people got to go to work. You need a mic. And so he was like, yo, like, give me a minute. Like, I'm trying to set a scene. He's like, I'm trying to set a scene. I'm trying to set something up. Like, give me a minute.
So let me tell you what actually happened. She walked in, everybody stands up and was like whipping their phone out to the corner. So it was kind of like, what you gonna do, Ken? What you right. Like, in the head, what you gonna do?
Right.
Well, what was going on through your mind okay. Well, tell us leading up to your mindset leading up to, and then when you walked in the door. And all
you talking about my mindset for like my birthday or just in general?
Yes. So that was the Sunday.
Yes.
The Sunday before.
That's the Sunday before. So that weekend, it was okay. So like I knew that like something good was gonna happen or something was up. Because he was just kind of nervous that weekend. Like he was kind of nervous a little bit. Like everybody was just on edge. Like between him, Emily, Kalisha, like everybody's like, oh, this has to be like the perfect thing. So I'm like, okay. Me personally, I was really just focusing on the fact that I was turning 30. And so like for me, and even the day before, like even that whole day leading up to the party, like I was like this like emotional like ball because even though like I am excited to be 30 and excited to, you know, enter into this new transition, I couldn't help but be reflective of my 20s. Right. And so when I just started thinking about God and just think about everything he did, like I was just emotional. I actually cried that morning before church because one of my mom's very best friends, she wrote this really, really sweet Facebook post. And it meant a lot to me because her friend had a daughter who passed away in 2013 who was my age. And she also left like 2 young kids and my mama has been helping. And so that post just kind of like, it hit a little different because I was like, wow, like Becky would have been 30 this year, you know? And so I cried with that. And he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, this is just really sweet. And so that happened. And then, you know, I'm reflective. So like, when I was getting ready, like my friends came over and I was just like, okay, you know, just be happy. It's going to be great. Everybody's been planning for this birthday party, you know, just like turning 30 is going to be cool. Like everything is going to be great. And so when we got to the party and I walked in and, you know, it was great. So that was my first time seeing everything. So I didn't know how anything was going to look.
Oh, okay.
So like really the only thing I was told leading up to this party was that I had to, you know, just look nice, you know, get my nails done, hair look nice. And Emily just asked me for like, you know, like a list of people who I would like to celebrate. Right. That's it. So I didn't know.
That's it. Right.
That's it. Like I didn't know. First of all, I didn't even know where the party was going to be at until the day of the party.
Right.
So when I walked in and I saw everything and I saw everybody, that was literally my first time seeing the whole setup, seeing all the people, the DJ, like all of it. Table. And so when I walked in, and so he like kind of like everybody of course like stood up. He kind of walked up to me and we were like taking pictures. Then like literally everybody like swarmed us. And so I just looked at him. So it's a picture. It's this really funny picture my brother took of me. And I'm just looking like, what's going on? And he was like, I don't know what they doing. And he was laughing. And he was like, I don't know what they doing. So we like took a picture. So then he was like, well, come on, let's sit down. And so that's when we like sat down.
Okay.
And then like everybody at that point, people started coming up to me. People wanted to take pictures. And so, you know, I got up and, you know, I was like mingling with people. So, you know, I came over, I hugged y'all. Thank y'all for coming. I was going over. So it's so funny. Two of my friends, Kelsey and George, were there. Like I was trying to tell them, hey, like the whole night. Right. But each time I tried to get over there, somebody was pulling me.
Right. Because if you noticed, everybody that was standing up was your family.
Exactly.
All your friends. So she walk in, all the friends on the right side, all the families on the left side. All the people that were standing up were her family.
Right.
Who were impatient, I guess, or whatever the case may be. All the friends, we know we playing it cool, so we like, okay, I don't know what they doing, but if we get up, she gonna know something's up. Right. That's what in my head was going on. So all her friends on this side, me, Spark, Kalisha, Felicia, everybody that was there, we all were over here just sitting down, chilling. And we like, if they don't sit down, they finna spoil it. Like, what's going on? So that's what's going on in my head. So
the thing about it is, my family's really extra. So them standing up wasn't like,
yes,
it wasn't. So like, if my family would have been sitting down, then I would have been like, what's going on? Because like what you all see, like that is my family. Like my family's really big. They're extra. They like to party. So like me coming in and them standing up, like that's what they do. And so them standing up, them like pulling, grabbing, all that stuff, like that's them. So to me, that was just normal. So like I'm trying to get over to Kelsey and George and like say, hey, and my aunt's like, well, come on, let's take a picture. So I'm like, okay, because that's what she do. Like it doesn't matter where we are, she wants to take a picture. So me and my aunt are taking a picture, and next thing I know, like this song starts playing. So it's this song that like me and Ken like starts playing. So I was like, okay, oh, I love this song. And then he like comes out of nowhere with a mic. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? And so at this point, everybody then swarms us again. So now I'm like, oh, okay, he's about to propose to me. I was like, this is the only reason why.
It was at that point.
It was at that point because it happened twice. And so I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, wow, like this is really happening. Like this is really happening. And so I think it was a mixture of, oh my God, this is happening. All these people have these cameras in my face.
Right.
And he starts talking. I kid you not, like I heard him, but I didn't hear him. Because I was just like, okay, like it's finna happen. And he gets down on one knee. And he starts talking. He starts talking. He tells me just how much he loves me, that he'll choose me. He gets down on one knee. And he was like, you know, will you marry me? And he like opens up the ring. And I was like, yes. And the funniest thing happened, y'all. When he tried to get up, he slipped and fell. And it's funny. It wasn't funny because I was like, oh my God, he just fell. And so I was trying not to laugh. And this is the reason why I try not to laugh. So me and Ken, we are like really chill, but we're like really silly with each other. And so we're always like cracking jokes. We're always laughing at each other. And in that moment, I thought about this conversation we had like a month ago. So like a month ago, we were just on the phone one night, and he was like, because he does this, he would always like randomly ask me like, oh, what if I proposed here? Like, what would you do? Or what if I proposed here? What would you do? So he was like, so what if I proposed at your birthday party? He was like, what would you do? And I was like, I probably would laugh. And he was like, why? Like he got like really serious. He was like, why? And I was like, because I always laugh at stuff. I was like, you know that. I was like, I'm not laughing because I don't want to. I was like, I would probably be like, wow, like you really doing this right now. And so when he slipped and fell, I was like, oh my God, did he really just fall? And so when I talked to him afterwards, he was like, in that moment, he was so embarrassed that like he just laid there. He was like, I'm just gonna lay here and die. And it's funny because when he slipped and fell, and he didn't get up, literally like all the men and like all of our family like surrounded him. So like my dad, my uncles, his stepdad, his uncles, like everybody's just like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? And so like he told me he's legit embarrassed. So you know how like when you just fall, you just want to like just disappear. Yep. That's how he felt, because he was just like, I can't believe I just did that. But he was laughing. And so like they get him up, he put the ring, and so I'm like looking at him like, yo, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, like I'm fine. And so like he didn't break his ankle or nothing. We think he like had like a sprain or something. And so like the rest of the night, he was kind of sitting down and stuff, so he really didn't party as much. And so, but we laugh about it now. And so he told me, like, when he sat down, he was like, you know what? We're going to have a story to tell the kids.
Oh, absolutely. And got plenty videos, too.
Oh, my goodness. My brother, who I absolutely love, he was videoing it on Snapchat. And so his commentary was so funny. So, like, after the party, we were in the car, and I was, like, looking, because, of course, I couldn't hear everybody. But my brother's commentary when Ken fell, because he had the video, and so you know how you can make things like super zoom.
Yeah.
He did that, so because like you can hear my brother, he's like, "Oh, don't cry, baby, don't cry," and then Ken was like, "She said yes," so my brother was like, "Oh," so then Ken was like, "Oh." Y'all, when I tell you, it was so funny. Like, me and Ken sat in that car and we were crying laughing at it. Because, like, it's just like, he super zoomed it in. And, like, it was the funniest thing in the world. It was just very lighthearted. And he's cool. What's interesting is, all day on my birthday, like, people who were at the party, they were, like, texting me. It was like, "Oh, happy birthday. How's Ken doing?" I'm like, y'all, he is fine. This man got... Like, when we left, I went to Walmart, got him some Icy Hot, got him some pain medicine, got him, like, a wrap. Like, he's good. But, like, literally everybody, like, that was, like, the second thing people said to me. Like, how was he doing?
Y'all. First of all, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
When he fell. Well, first of all, let me lead up to, because prior to that, y'all had just prayed over the food. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in line, grab my food. I guess he'll do it whenever. I'm literally in line, plate in hand, about to put the first food on my plate, and I hear, "Now, baby," and I'm like, "Oh, wait." Put the plate down. I'm running over, start hitting record on my phone before all this happened.
Yeah.
But when he fell, I looked at Sparkle. I said, "You better not laugh." You better not. And I gave it a look. I said, "You better not laugh."
It was funny.
It was funny, but in the moment, like, it's supposed to be a special moment. Obviously, it's embarrassing, and if y'all weren't laughing at this, then we could laugh at it. So it's.
Oh, I was trying to hold it in. I was like, that's why I had my head down. And I was just looking, so I was like,
"Oh wow,
you cannot laugh at him, especially if he's like really hurt."
Yeah, and that's the thing I didn't know. I didn't know if he had broke it or.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. It wasn't broken. He thinks it was probably like a little sprain or like he pulled like something, but I promise you, like within like a day, he was like fine.
Okay, good. Okay, cool beans.
But it was funny, y'all.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Definitely a story we will tell the kids.
Absolutely, we just told half the world.
Yeah, it's definitely a story we will tell the kids. So.
Oh Lord, that is funny. So let's go ahead and start asking when y'all getting married. When's the big day? All that good. I already know. Yes. I already know.
Not even like the next day. Like at the party, like afterwards, when we were like sitting down. So after like we got him seated, we sat down and people were like giving us food. So of course, like our family and everybody like wants to come over. They want to hug and give gifts. And like one of my aunts, she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're just so excited and I'm just so ready to plan and let Ken know we got him and it's just gonna be great." And I was like, okay. And then like literally before another one of my aunts left, she's like, "Okay, we're just ready to plan." I'm like, okay. And so like the next day, interesting. So I think Ken proposed to me at like 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
And so what I didn't know was like, so I think his best friend was like IG live in it or Facebook live in it or whatever. So like people were seeing it in real time. So the next day, of course, like everybody's like commenting. So people were like sending me Facebook messages. So, you know, like on Messenger, if somebody's not your friend, you have to like check like, so I had just checked it. I kid you not. Ken proposed to me at 7:30. At 8:36, I had a message from this girl telling me, congratulations. If you all need a wedding planner when that time comes, let me know. I promise you. Like, and even Ken, like, even like that night, Ken had like people DMing him, like caterers, like, oh, who's gonna cater? Who's gonna do this? And
just got engaged.
Literally.
Less than 5 hours ago.
Less than 5 hours ago. And so, like, of course, all day, Monday on my birthday, like, people were calling and texting and asking, like, oh, I had got that question, like, a few times. Like, oh, have y'all set a date? You know, when is it gonna be? Yeah. Like, at one point, like, and Kim was getting, like, really irritated because he was like...
Oh, yeah, we do.
He was like, yo, it's her birthday. Like... She hasn't even had the ring for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And, like, he actually tweeted, he was like, yo, the next person that, like, calls my phone and asking me about a date or asking me about a venue or asking me about this, he's like, y'all gonna get it. Like, if it's not happy birthday, like, it's still her birthday. Like, at least wish her happy birthday. Because, like, even his mom had called and had asked, and he was like, Mom, it hasn't been 24 hours. Like, it hasn't been 24 hours. Like, I had got text messages, like, a few of my aunts text me. They were like, oh, like, one of my aunts, one of my aunts led into it, though. I have to give her credit. Because she sent me a picture of her gift, which I was glad because I had got something I didn't know. She didn't, like, write her name on it. Mm. And so then she was like, oh, the party was just so nice. We had such a great time. I was like, thank you. I'm thinking we finna talk about the party. Then she goes, no. So, have y'all set a date yet? Where y'all getting married at? And I was like, we have not set a date. But we know it'll be in Memphis sometime next year. Like, that's really been my response to people. It'll be in Memphis sometime next year. But yes, we have gotten that. We have definitely got, when is it going to be? I actually got that question today at work. One of the lady administrators asked me, she told me that congratulations. And then she asked me, so have y'all picked a date yet? And I was like, no. So me and Ken talked about it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I can say that I'm grateful for in our relationship is that, like, we've always been on our own time. Good. And so, because even with, like, this whole process of how we even got to engagement, like, before we even got into a relationship, we just had a conversation. And we just talked about how we did not want to skip steps. Because that's something that we've done in the past where it's like you jump from you meeting somebody, then now you're in a relationship, and now you talking about marriage. Yep. And so one of the things we talked about, like, very early on, even before we started dating, was that we wanted to enjoy being friends. Then when the time came and we progressed into a relationship, we wanted to enjoy being in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And then when the time came and progressed into us being engaged, we want to enjoy being engaged. And then when the time comes, like that's, like, we've always been on, like, our own time. And so when we talked about it, we were like, that's a lot of pressure, like, to just pick a date, like, not even 24 hours. And so we both said that, and he even said it. He was like, the wedding is for everybody else. He was like, we want the marriage, and we want to make sure that when we say I do, that we stay married. Mm-hmm. And so that's our focus. And so, like, we have decided, which I know this is probably different from other people, we have decided to go to marriage counseling before we pick a date.
That's not normal.
Is that what people do? Because people make it seem like it's like the opposite.
Here, and you're right. That is normally what people do, but you're supposed to get counseling before you pick a date. Yeah. Where people get caught up is they do marriage counseling maybe like 3 months before the big day.
Right.
And if it goes south, and they like, oh, we don't need to get married no more. Yeah. And then they have to make all these arrangements, all these calls. But yes, that's actually, I agree with that logic. You should get marriage counseling first and, plan your life out and see if y'all actually fit, which I'm sure y'all fit because all that good stuff. But, I'm so you said something that was funny to me. You said enjoy being engaged. I was like, you ain't gonna enjoy it. You ain't gonna enjoy being engaged. That is the most annoying, not most annoying, but it's very annoying, stress filled. Because let me tell you why it's annoying. Well, I'm gonna say from the husband's perspective.
Okay.
It's annoying because, well, for me it was annoying because my wife to be is getting stressed out over little details. Literally every day there's some sort of update, whether it's okay, where you're looking at this, you're planning this, you're having to call venues. There's the phase of first finding a venue, then you got to pick colors, then you got to do this, that, and the third, and then you're comparing, you're searching online your wedding, because we paid for, like, I'd say about 75% of our wedding came out of our pockets. So we came up with decorations, calling people, and mind you, our wedding was in Nassau.
Right.
So we're over here in Memphis. So we're calling, obviously, well, I strategically already like planned for her to like go home like a month after, like 3 weeks after we got engaged. She was already going home. So I was like, okay, I need to make sure she's there. So when she's there, she's looking for venues and stuff, calling them, getting prices and stuff like that. So there's the actual planning stress part of it. And then there's the part of it that shouldn't be stressful, but the merging of the lives together. What do you envision for us? How many kids? I mean, hopefully you've had the kids conversation already, definitely. But just the merging of lives, like really having like deep, critical conversations with us. I think me and Spark already kind of had those deep conversations already. But it's like, okay, now let's seriously let's look at this. Let's plan it out. Let's look at what we want to do and stuff like that. And how do we navigate? How do we communicate? Stuff like that. And so there's the merging of the lives. And then there's the bridesmaids and groomsmen. The bridesmaid. Let me say this now. This first time I've said this on the podcast, but I've said it several times. I said it to many people at work I was working with at the time. Sarah, the more bridesmaids, the more headache you have. Have I told you this? I feel like I told you this. The more bridesmaids, the bigger the headache. Yeah. So do not have, my recommendation, do not have more than 7 or 8 bridesmaids. Because otherwise, you're going to be getting all these inputs. I don't like this. I want my hair to be this way. That dress makes me look fat. This makes me look skinny. This one don't show off my butt right. I want to slit like this. I don't like that makeup artist. Can we show up here? What are we going to do here? There's too many opinions. Yeah. It's way, way too many opinions. Yeah. So yeah, it's not fun. No. It's definitely not. We want to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I can say, so several things to that. So the one about the bridesmaids, I definitely understand. So I've been a part of 3 weddings. And so I definitely, at least from the bridesmaid maid of honor standpoint, I definitely see like the stresses that people can have on the bride. And that was like one of the things that I tried. So I was a maid of honor in one, and I was a bridesmaid in 2 others. And to see like some of like the little like small like petty things that to the person who did it probably felt like it wasn't, but to the bride it felt like everything. And so I think what a lot of people don't recognize is that and one thing I'm learning is that like you're literally merging your life. And so I don't think people understand like how stressful like those last few days can be. And people can be so inconsiderate.
It's extremely.
To the bride or to the groom. And it's like, I definitely saw where like people who just weren't considerate or didn't give them grace or just was selfish in that moment. Like, it's not about you. And I think I had to have that conversation with people. Like, it's not about you. It's about this person. Like, this person has a lot going on emotionally. Like, they're literally about to make probably one of the biggest decisions of their lives. And you sit up here complaining about some makeup. Or you complaining about your hair. Or you're complaining about something. You complain about how you going to look. Or something petty. And you complaining about to her. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely understand that. As far as the planning, I do have to give a shout out to one of my very good friends, Sonia Askew, because one of her gifts to me was this literal, like,
a planner?
Wedding Bible.
Yep.
And it's like, it comes from the knot. And like, so like, me and Ken like looked at it on my birthday and we closed it because it was just so much. Like, I was like, oh, baby, you want to look at it? We were just going to look at it.
Skim it. Nope.
When I tell you, we opened it up. Like, there, like literally everything you could think of. A lot of these things I didn't even know is in like the first few pages. Yeah. Like, it came with this like color swatches thing that has like the colors on the back, and it tells you what colors go with the colors, and you can like punch them out and like put them in. It came with,
this is for real.
It's a for real. Like, it has this assessment at the front that they advise for you and your grooms to be to take. I like it because it asks very real questions. So one of the questions it asks you to rank whose opinions matter most, and then to put a star on who has the final say so.
That's a good one.
And it says it has you and spouse, your parents, their parents. And so you have to rank them and then put a star on who's in charge. And then it also asks another question. I think the other question was who's responsible for payment, or like what are they supposed to pay for? And you have to rank them. And then you have to put a star on. No, I think it's something about payment. And you have to put a star on who has the final say so on certain things, which I thought was pretty cool. Because I feel like the other piece of this is the fact that, so I am the oldest granddaughter on my dad's side. Okay. Ken is the oldest grandson. And so, like, us getting married is like a really big deal. One thing that I thought about yesterday, I will be the first granddaughter on either side of my parents' families to get married without having kids first. Literally, every one of my cousins who has gotten married, like every one of my blood relatives, female cousins who has gotten married, got married after they had kids. And so...
Clap it up for yourself, Dr. Benson.
Right. And so me and Ken too. So Ken will be the first to get married without having kids. And so very early on in our relationship, I told him that like that's always been a goal of mine, was to get married first before I had kids. So it's like a big deal. And so because it being a big deal, everybody has all these inputs. But the reality of it is, me and Ken, and we've kind of talked about little things. So like, we know that we will be paying for majority of the wedding. And so because we're going to be paying for majority of the wedding, like, it's really like what we want.
Facts.
You know? And I think we're both at this stage now where we're able to handle our families to a place to where we're like, hey, are you going to pay for this? If you are not, this is what we're going to do. If you are, we can talk about it.
We can at least have a discussion.
We can have a discussion.
Probably still gonna be my way, but
so it's like, and that's another reason why, because of how big our families are and just everybody's opinions and everything, that's another reason why we wanted to go ahead and kind of get the marriage counseling out the way. Because if we had to go through marriage counseling and deal with them at the same time, like, it just would have been a lot. It just would have been like a whole bunch. Right. So, but I am grateful. Thank you, Sonia, so much. If you're listening to this, for that planner, because I feel like it's going to save my life. And not only that, if it's one thing I have learned after being in 3 weddings, get a wedding planner. Get a good wedding planner. Because the wedding planner can deal with the people.
Facts.
And I can send them to the wedding planner. And so I will be getting a wedding planner. I actually have somebody in mind who did an amazing job with another wedding. And so I have to have conversations with that person when the time comes. But I'm definitely getting a wedding planner. Because I know that planning a wedding is a lot, and I've seen it. You know, I've seen how much it is. I've seen, you know, how people can be, and quite personally, I just don't want that stress.
I got you, because let me tell you something. Sparkle. So when we got married, I had just turned 25, and she was turning 25 next month. She was 24. Let me tell you something about Sparkle. She does not handle stress well.
Yeah.
And she, like, Bridezilla, like, is a thing. So,
yeah.
Like, I had to talk her down, and like day before, I said I had to say go to her people, her bridesmaids who I actually liked, and was like, look, your job is to take her phone. Yeah. Take her phone. I don't want her looking at it. I don't want her communicating with it. I just want you to get her in a headspace to enjoy the day from the time she wakes up to the time that she makes it to down the aisle. Yeah. That is your 100% job. And so our wedding coordinator, his job was, of course, everything wedding, everything else. Because I could help out in the mornings, but after midday, like, it's my job to make sure me and my groomsmen are good, straight. But, like, that week of, oh, yeah, it's stressful. And you've been on that side of it, but once you're on this side, it's a whole different rodeo. So you definitely want to make sure you got people in your corner already set up in place that know what roles to go into, who needs to take charge. Because all you need to do is really wake up and chill. So your matron, maid, whoever you choose to be your person, like, I would really advise like that person kind of be the point person. Or if you just want, the wedding planner coordinator to handle that.
Yeah. No, I am. Because like you said, I definitely have seen like the stress of like the day of like on a bride, like being in the weddings that I've been in. And I can't say like, so the wedding that I was in when I was the maid of honor, like the groom, like the day before the wedding, he did pull me to a side and he was like, hey, can you just make sure that she's cool, that she's just calm and stuff like that. In which I tried to do like the best of my abilities. Right. Like literally I remember just running around town like all day, like just making sure like everything was set and straight that I could control. And even throughout that process, like just kind of like, I think the job of like the maid of honor, the matron of honor is to kind of keep like the bridesmaids and everybody kind of in line or just like on board. Because when you're dealing with a bunch of people, you do have so many personalities. And it can be really stressful. And so I definitely can say that like the people, and so one of the things that we said that we would do is like after, like once we get into the planning stage, we were going to like talk about, who's going to do what and all of those things. But like we have had like little conversations like, oh, like if we were to do this, like who would you pick? Like who would you want and stuff like that. So we definitely have an idea of like just certain people for certain things, but we haven't like asked anybody anything or like made nothing. The only people.
It's been 3 days.
Right. Thank you. It's been 3 days, y'all. Whew, it's been 3 days, y'all. I can't say this. Like I do know like the only like 2 people or 2 things that are like we know for sure are who are going to be our ring bearer and our flower girls.
Oh, that's the children. That's easy.
Right. That's easy. Simply because my nephew's going to be, well, he's not going to be the ring bearer because I love my baby and he's my baby for a reason. But he can be kind of temperamental sometimes. And so depending on the day, he may or may not just, we have to feel his vibe for the day. And so I was telling Ken that I don't think I want to like give him like an important thing like holding like a pillow like a ring. So what we're probably gonna do is get him right. So we're gonna get him a sign, and so he's gonna have a sign because he's my baby. Like I love him. I probably spoil him more than anybody else in the world. So I know. Like depending on the day, like if he might wake up on the wrong side of the bed that morning, and he don't want to fool nobody for the day. So, and so we're going to get him a sign. Okay. And, Ken's niece, so Ken has a niece who's 1. And so we said we're going to use her. Yeah, his brother.
Gonna be walking by? That baby going to be walking by then?
Yeah, sometime next year, like later. Yeah, shush.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ken's niece who's 1, we'll use her and, probably another little girl to be like the flower girl. So that's pretty much what I can tell you right now.
I got you.
You It's gonna be in Memphis. It'll be sometime next year, and we have a ring bearer and a flower girl. That's about it.
I got you. So whatever support I can be, I will offer any counsel I can do.
Thank you.
No decision making, that's all on y'all. But
right,
I'll say this and that as far as, especially now knowing that y'all are paying for it. Oh yeah, that's
I definitely gonna hit you. So one of the things I am getting ready to do, because I'm a firm believer in getting like counseling or advice. Excuse me.
But not too much advice.
Not too much advice, but no. So I'm one of the things I am getting ready to do is I plan on like reaching out to like different like women who are married and just to kind of get their feedback on like this process and like, you know, like what it's like, you know, that first year of marriage and things like that. Just to kind of get advice, just to kind of see. And it's specific women that I have already like identified who I would reach out to. So some of them are younger because me and Ken are still young, and some are like some older women. Just to get, you know, just advice and things like that, and just see what their process has been for them, and just recognizing and just understanding. So like my childhood best friend, and I've just been reaching out to everybody that I know who like, oh, okay, like I think I was like texting them. I was like, y'all, like I feel like this. And I was like, hey, that's normal. Like it's cool, it's great. Like just give yourself time to breathe. Like even my one of my line sisters, my Linky, she was there, and so we kind of talked a little bit afterwards, and she was like, hey, like I understand. She's like, it's a lot. She's like, you know, just enjoy the moment. She's like, you know, give yourself a week to really just like take in the fact that you are engaged. She's like, you know, you don't have to respond to nobody. She's like, don't let nobody rush you. And even like the next day on my birthday, another one of my line sisters, she texted me, and so she's been married, I think I got married like 2015. And so she had like texted me, and you know, of course told me congratulations and happy birthday. And she just asked me how I was feeling. And so I told her, I was like, girl, like people have already like started asking us about a date. And she's like, oh my gosh, I hate that. And she's like, don't let people rush y'all. Just enjoy it, you know, give yourself a time. And so I'm like really grateful for like that advice, you know, because people gonna rush you. And I think we talked about this when I talked about turning 30 and how people don't care about the process, they care about the product.
Yep.
And I was talking to a friend she was like, you know, I was talking to Kalisha, she was like, you know, like people trying to rush out to get married, and then once I get married, I'm trying to rush out to have a baby. Yep. Like just chill. And I was like, I know that. Like I know that. Like I promise y'all, like when we get everything squared away, we will let the people know. Right. Like we will let you, like right. I promise we are not gonna steal off in the night and go somewhere.
That's okay.
Right, and right.
Wow.
Yeah, but it probably will be a nice size wedding. I'm not even about to start thinking about the guest list.
Yeah, don't.
Because between my family, like, so first of all, my mother has 7 siblings.
Who all have families of their own.
Wow. Right. But I can say maybe a handful might come. So yeah. I think the interesting thing is gonna be, and I don't know if you guys had this, like the random people who you probably haven't even like talked to in like years are like, oh, I'm getting an invite, or oh, I'm gonna be there, and I'm like, I don't even remember the last time I even saw you in person. You know, like, I'm pretty sure y'all had that. Like, just random people, like, oh, don't forget about me. And I'm like, Sarah. What?
Oh my God. It wasn't even them necessarily asking for it. It was between Sparkle, like, thinking, oh, yeah, I need to invite them from high school. You know, we was Ace Boom Coons in high school. And her daddy, who invited half the people from the church.
Really?
Now, mind you, they still go to the church, but this is Miles Monroe Church.
Oh, yeah.
He invited half the congregation.
Oh, wow.
Lord Jesus. And half of me. Anyway, we'll dive into that offline, because you taking me back.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to take you back.
It's all good, but I ain't going back.
Yeah.
Who?
So yeah, that's the real interesting part. And me and Ken even talked about that. He was like, all these people talking about my invite. He's like, well, they don't know. They gonna see the pictures. He was like, they gonna see the pictures.
Ken got the game right.
Yeah, like one thing I can say about him, he like out of the two of us, he's probably the one who's like more like straight to the point and firm.
Good.
Like I'm the one with the bleeding heart, so I know I'm gonna be like, well, you know, this person, they saved my dog, and he's gonna be like, no, not at all. So, but I am getting better. I can't say that, like I am getting better, but like he's like, no, like he has no problem.
Cutthroat.
No, like no, like I'm not gonna be there, like no, and I'm just gonna be like, well, you know,
come to the wedding, they just can't go to reception,
right? Like stuff like that. So like he's just like, nah. It ain't gonna happen. So he's way more firm in that case when it comes to stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting. I can't say it is definitely gonna be an interesting ride.
I don't envy you.
You say you don't envy me.
I will be there in full support. But yeah, y'all can have that.
Man, I'm telling you.
If you need me.
My auntie already sent me venues.
It's been 3 days.
She sent it to me the day after.
The day of, as in
the day after.
Oh, okay. I was about to say as in the same night.
No, not the same night. The day after. She sent me a venue to look at, and I was like, oh, okay, girl.
Well, I will say that in everyone's defense, I will say that the engagement phase does go fast.
Yeah.
Like if you aren't dedicating some time to it, like every week, it will get away from you fast, and you'll look up and it's been 6 months.
Yeah.
I will say that. So, and that's where you get a lot of people who are engaged for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Because they are on top of it, and then they're like, we've been engaged for a year and we ain't even got no cake, venue, bridesmaid, nothing. So in their defense, I will say that, but it's only been 3 days. So in your defense, chill out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know they mean well. So one of the things I do know, I know that everybody means well. Everybody's excited. You know, like I said, I'm the oldest granddaughter. Ken's the oldest grandson. And so it's like, and of course for my family, y'all, I've talked about my family on here. You know, I think my grandmother was just over the moon. Like, oh, I didn't tell you. I don't think I ever told you this story. So when Ken met my family, he originally was just supposed to meet my parents. So he's supposed to meet my parents and meet my aunt and my uncle. And I wanted him to meet my parents because they're my parents and my aunt and my uncle because I lived with them at the time. And so I wanted him to meet them at that point because I know he was going to come to my graduation. I didn't want it to be like, you know, just awkward. So the plan was me, Ken, my mom, my dad, my aunt and my uncle were supposed to go to lunch. So me and Ken are pulling up to the restaurant, and I see my grandparents walking in the door. And so I turned to Ken, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, don't be alarmed. My grandparents are here. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. We walk into the restaurant. My entire family was at lunch.
Wait. When you say entire family, you mean your mom, your dad, their mom and dad, sisters, uncles. You got two brothers, right? Brothers, they children.
My mama, my daddy, my grandmother, my grandfather, my father's siblings, all of his siblings, my two brothers. My brother has my daddy has 4 siblings. So my uncles, their significant others, my aunts, my cousins, their kids, my brothers, and my nephew. Everybody is at lunch waiting on us. And so I asked my mom, I was like, what happened? She's like, well, you know, I had to tell your grandma because, you know, they would have been mad if they would have, you know, everybody just wanted to meet them and it just became a thing.
Hey,
and
come on, bold.
Very, but that's
bold.
That is that's our family. And so, but I can say, Ken, he rolled with it. Like, I can give him that. I don't know too many men who would have walked into that and would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is too much. But he rolled with it. And so the day that it happened, that was actually, so I don't know if I told you this. So Ken actually had cancer. Mm-hmm. He had colon cancer. And so that day that he met everybody was like his anniversary of being cancer free. Mm-hmm. And so I had called my aunt earlier that day because I was going to have her get him like a little cake. Mm-hmm. So of course we walked in. I went and got the cake. So of course they made it a big deal. And my mom sang and it just became this thing. And so he was happy that we celebrated because of course my family was like, oh my gosh, you're so excited. But I'm saying all this to say, I'm bringing it back to the point. The point is, at some point during lunch, so when my grandparents were getting ready to leave, my grandmother pulled Ken aside and she goes, please marry my granddaughter.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. She goes, please marry my granddaughter. And so, but before that, we were sitting at dinner. So like before that, we were at lunch. Everybody's in their own conversation. I think Kim was like talking to my dad or something. My grandmother leans over to me. She goes, that's your mate. And I was like, what? She's like, y'all gonna get married. I'm like, okay, girl. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I just got meeting him. What are you talking about, grandma? And she's like, yep. She's like, y'all gonna get married. And so when Ken proposed to me that night, he walked up to my grandma, like when they was leaving, and he goes to my grandma, he's like, you remember what you told me? And she was like, yep, I sure do. He's like, see? He's like, I'm keeping my promise to you. And she was like, I know. And so I have to go by there tomorrow because she told me I got to come by and get my gift from her. But yeah, like my grandmother legit told him that to marry me. So I said all that to say, my family is just over the moon.
Oh no, they over the whole they over the whole top. Bold ain't even. It's gonna be an interesting wedding.
It's gonna be an interesting journey, y'all.
Oh Lord. Okay, so let me tell you this first off top. Your mama, the first one. Don't tell her nothing. Don't tell her nothing, cause that started with her, and it spread like wildfire. So don't tell her nothing until y'all have talked about it, all that good stuff, and made the final decision. And you just like, hey, this just let you know.
Yeah.
This ain't changing. Ooh-wee. Anyway, wow. Something I wanted interesting to talk about. Did he tell you when he like knew? Did he tell you that when he knew he wanted to marry? Because here's what my perception is. Well, this is just what I believe. I believe that all men know if they want to marry their girlfriend in the first year.
Yeah.
The first year, because I don't know what it is. I think it's just something about they get to observe, they get to live life with you, they get to feel you, touch you, get mad with you, fight with you, get upset with you, have their happiest moment, not necessarily the happiest moment, but you get to just see, and within that first year, they know.
Yeah.
Yes or no.
Let Ken tell it. And I'm sure, and he said he wants to be a guest on the show, and he'll tell you.
Okay.
So the other piece of this is I have known Ken since 2011.
Right.
And so according to Ken, he knew the first day he met me that me and him was going to be together. Like he didn't know how. He did not know that.
When you dating somebody else at this time?
Exactly. Exactly. So, but Ken, according to Ken, he's like the first time he saw me, and I promise you, he remembers the exact day. He remembers what I had on. He remembers the exact situation. And so he said, so according to him, and I vaguely remember meeting him, but he was coming into the auditorium for a pageant. And I was, of course, I'm a busybody, so I was like passing out programs or something. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him and I was like, hey, Ken. And he was like, he saw me and he was like, wow, like, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And he was like, at that moment, he was like, I gotta know who she is. Like, I need to like talk to her. And so over the years,
with that Chris Brown, it's like, yeah, I don't know your name, but excuse me, miss. I saw you from across the room.
Right. And so, and like we said, at the time I was dating somebody else. And so over the years, me and him, we would sort of kind of talk sometimes, but like it was nothing that went like below the surface. So like when me and my ex had broke up, I do remember, so like in 2013, he had wanted to like get to know me then, but I was in this like no men phase, so it just wasn't gonna work. And I actually told him that, like, cause I remember him reaching out because me and him had actually started back texting after me and my ex had broke up. And so, but it was nothing, it was just a little conversation here there. He was actually one of the first people I told when I was leaving law school. And so when I had moved back to Mississippi, I think he had like brought it up one day, and I was just like, no, I'm good. Like, and I know what I told him. I told him that I was emotionally unstable and that I would be no good for anybody. And he was just like, okay, whatever. And so, because the other piece of this is Ken was living his own life too. So it wasn't like he was just sitting around waiting for me. No, he was living life. And so like over the years, we would have moments where like we would probably like text or kind of talk on social media, but it was like I said, it was nothing ever really below the surface. And so and I think I said this, the funny thing is Ken had always sort of kind of put me on like this pedestal, so he always had like this perception that I was just like this really prissy girl, like I just things were beneath me and all that stuff. And so how we ended up reconnecting and talking was so I have a fascination with drug lord documentaries. Did you know that?
I think vaguely you told me about, because you tried to give me. You remember when you came over to the house, like when was that? My first house when I first moved to Memphis.
Oh yeah,
you tried to get everybody to
watch that movie.
Everybody was like, nah.
They didn't want to watch this movie with me. Anyway, so I have a fascination with drug lord documentaries. And on this one random Saturday, that's how I was like, I know it was like the Lord. So when I was going through grad school, I never had free time. You know that. I was either teaching, grading, whatever. It was just this random Saturday that I had free time. So I was watching this documentary on Netflix. It was about this queen pen back in the 80s named Jamaica Thompson. So I posted on IG. I was like, yo, do y'all know who this lady is? Like, so I was like, wow, like this is something new. So Ken responded and was like, what do you know about her? Because once again, in his mind, he's like, she's really prissy. Why is she in that type of stuff? Right. Why is she watching drug lord documentaries? And so I was like, no, like I really like this. Like, and so that started the conversation. That was November 18th. No, that was November 12th, 2018. We have literally talked every day since then. And so through that conversation on IG, we just started texting. And then like one day he was just like, you know what? He was like, I would like to be your friend. And he was just like, I feel like we kind of know each other, but we don't know each other. And I just want to get to know you. And at that time, I'm getting ready to start dissertation. I'm like, okay.
Busiest moment in your whole entire graduate career.
I told him, I was like, I can be your friend. The interesting thing about it was like 2 weeks before that interaction of the documentary, I had basically gotten rid of like any guy that was remotely interested in me. Like any dude that like had showed any interest in me, like I basically told him like, look, I'm finna start my dissertation. I ain't got the energy to give you. Peace. Like literally. And then so when he was coming along, I'm like, what you want? Like I was really like, what do you want? And so he was just like, he came at me as a friend, and he generally wanted to be my friend. And so for me, in that moment, I had even prayed to God about it. I was like, Lord, like, I don't want no friends. Like, I'm good. And the guy was like, you could be his friend. Like, there's no, like, commitment in friendship. And so we became friends. And it just kind of grew from there. And when I tell you, it has literally been, like, the Lord and, like, just baby stepping it for me. Because, once again, middle of dissertation, trying to find a job, trying to figure life out. And so I was not interested in getting into a relationship with nobody. Mm-hmm. Like, because I'm trying to get my stuff together. Right. But he just been there. Funny story, and I'm ending with this. So Ken, one night we were on the phone, and he was eating Popeyes. Okay. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. So he like cashed at me like $10 to give me some Popeyes. I freaked out, Cam. Like, freaked out. I was like, no, you ain't got to give me this. I'm about to send this back to you. You know, I'm good. He was like, right. He was like, first of all, I'm not trying to marry you. Second of all, I was hungry. I was eating some chicken. I thought you might be hungry. He was like, it's just chicken. And I was, that's exactly what it was. And I was just like, oh, okay, you're right. Let me get my chicken. And he was like, you're crazy. And I was like, okay. Bust my bubble. When I tell you I freaked out. And he was just like, it's just chicken.
It's just chicken. Just $10. Enjoy yourself.
Basically.
Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Ken. Anytime a man can like respectfully put a woman in her place, like, and do it respectfully, I think, okay, yeah, that's a good man right there. Yeah. Not every man can do that respectfully, and peacefully. Just like, look, you tripping right now.
Yeah, that's exactly how he was. He was like, "You tripping over some chicken?" He was like, "Calm down. It's just chicken."
Right. Oh man. Okay. So let me ask you this, because some women go back and forth on this. When did you know that, okay, I could see myself marrying him?
Well, for me, I think it was a gradual process. So this is the reason why I say it. So one of the things that I'm grateful for that I believe the Lord did for me, for my benefit, because I am such a control freak, I'm such a worrier. The Lord began to show me Ken's character before we got into a relationship. Yep. And so when we were friends, there were just certain things that would come. Like, I kid you not, like, one of the things I can say that I did different here was that at every question, every thought, everything that was pertaining to him, I literally prayed about it. And I literally put it before God, because I was like, Lord, like, I don't want to make no steps. I don't want to do anything without you. And so when we were in the friendship stage, like, certain things would come up, and like I would like pray to God about it, and like literally immediately within like a week, like Ken would either say something or he would do something that was like that confirmation. And he didn't know that I was like praying about this, and he didn't know that I was doing it. And so like it was during that friendship stage that like God started to show me his character and show me the type of man he is, and show me like his heart. And so it was through that I was like, oh, okay, that's something I prayed about. You know, these are things I prayed about. And so I think it was like a gradual thing, but I think it was like probably around, I don't even want to put a date on it. Like, you know what? Never mind. I think it was one of the times in which he, and I think I talked about this before, one of the times in which he, the way he dealt with like conflict with me, and the way that he dealt with, pretty much with anything, but it was the way he dealt with conflict, the way that he would care about me. And it was like, I began to see like, you know what, I can marry this person. Like, I can be with this person. Like the way we deal with things is so different from anything else I've ever had from any other person. My friends think I'm spoiled. But I just think that it's like, so Ken, he's created this world where I finally feel like I belong, if that makes sense. So like for me, I have to be on all the time. Whether I'm at work, I'm at church, it's like I feel like I have to be on. But when I'm with him, I don't have to be. I can just be me. And I can be comfortable, and I can be flawed, and I can be real. And he, I I feel like he just created this space where I belong. And there's something so comforting and just everything about him in that space. And to be able to experience that with him, to be able to like grow like in just every area with him. Like I knew when he proposed to me that like yes was the only answer for me. Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you definitely did.
Oh, okay.
Because
it's so simple, yet it's such a big thing to be able to be with somebody and have no fear of them rejecting who you are. Like you can be completely, really, I gotta be vulgar. You gotta be naked, like emotionally naked with them, to be like transparent, to be yourself. Like I don't have to be the Sarah or the Kameron who has to have everything like lined up. I don't have to lead I don't have to do this. I can just come home or just be with you, go to lunch with you, and just be myself. I don't have to put on a face no more. And that is huge. And when you find that with somebody, that really is special.
It is. I think going through my dissertation process was another time that I felt was like a confirmation.
probably mean.
That, right. Not necessarily mean, but like the fact that I could be so vulnerable and honest about my vulnerability. And it was like I was able to be honest about being vulnerable. And he just listened. Or he prayed for me, or he encouraged me, or he gave me that room, like he graced me. And a lot of people don't grace me. And I think a lot of people don't grace me because I am the leader. I am the one who does it all. That
PhD. You're Dr. Benson.
Right. That they expect 100%, 24/7. And if I have an off day, if I have something, then it's like the end of the world. But with him, it's not like that. Like he graced me. And I'm like forever grateful for that. Like, and I think it's his heart. Like he has a heart for people. I think that's the one thing people like miss about him because of how he looks. I think people don't understand just really how much he loves people and how much he gives and how much he cares for people. I think that's one of the things that really like draws me to him, because I have a heart for people as well. And so the way that he loves people, the way that he cares. So I think people look at him, they're like, oh man, he's like this big scary dude, right? And then he can come off like as stern, but like when I say he really truly like cares for people and loves and really wants the best, like that's something that I love about him. Many of the things I love about him. So, but yeah, I don't have to wear my cape with him.
And that's real.
I don't. And I didn't have to fix him. It's so many things to this, and I feel like I just keep going on and on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, here's another important thing.
Okay.
I did not have to lead him.
That's important, especially for women who want to be led.
Yeah, I did not have to be the leader here. I have to be the leader in literally every other aspect of my life. I don't, and I didn't have to be the leader in my relationship. Yeah.
That's great.
Great. We could keep going on and on. But as we bring this to a close, I definitely want to highlight that as great as you feel right now, I want you to remember this feeling when things do get stressful. Because it's unfortunate, but I mean, this is what I tell Sparkle every time. Engaged does not mean married.
Yep.
And I unfortunately have seen several people get engaged and then fall off.
Yeah.
And make it nowhere near anybody's altar or anything like that. So just remember that, this is a special person, that this is somebody who is willing to to get in the ring and actually talk about things and loves me for me and is willing to actually like work and process and let me be me and I let him be him. And even when times get difficult, we can still like attack the problem and not each other. Like little things like that like make the difference, especially in this time of stress.
I definitely can say that is one of the things that I am grateful for, is that like I've seen him in every season of life. You see what I mean? And so
the year.
Right.
3 months. Yeah.
Right. I've seen him in every season. So like I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly with him. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that I'm grateful for is the fact that even when we are upset or if we have a disagreement, we choose to still be respectful to each other in a sense. So like if I'm like really upset, like we don't yell at each other, which was different for me because I was used to the rah-rah. I'm used to cussing you out. I'm used to the yelling. I think the first time I ever yelled at him, he was ready to break up with me. And he'll have to talk about that. He'll have to talk about that.
Let him talk about that.
Yeah, we'll let him talk about it. And the reason why is because so Ken had been in relationships like that, and him being single and like really working on himself and really working on his relationship with God, he knew what he wanted and what he didn't want. And he knew that to be in a relationship that he wanted, he needed somebody who was able to talk about their issues and not yell. And to really think through, and even if I'm upset at you, I'm not going to talk to you disrespectful. I'll just talk to you later. And so that moment that I yelled, he told me, he was like, listen, I love you, but you're not going to yell at me. And I was like, oh, okay. And so for me, I had to learn how to communicate.
Oh yeah, it's a challenge because there's a difference between knowing how to communicate and then there's a learning that you learn through actually putting it into practice with somebody else. So you can know how to communicate as a leader, you can know how to communicate with a friend, you can know how to communicate in your family, and you think you know how to communicate with a partner, but until you are actually doing it and doing it with these people and having responses and stuff like that, it's a whole different learning curve. Yes. And you learn more, and you really learn a lot about yourself too. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me take a step back.
I was that girl.
Okay.
But I ain't on the rah-rah no more. I'm learning how to effectively communicate.
And it's fine. And the thing about, and of course we'll probably dive into this when we start talking deeper about marriage, but the thing about marriage is you aren't the same person going in that you are X amount of years going through it. I heard on this other podcast that like this person's like wife is like, this is list 2.0. And now we're working on like the software update that you get on an Apple iPhone. Yeah. Like it's the same phone, but you're constantly getting like updates. And so even though you might not have that necessarily perfect, don't feel like you have to have it all together walking across the aisle. Yeah. But acknowledge it and continue to update, work on, okay, got a little bug right here. I got a little rah-rah when we talk about this particular topic. So let me step back, try to figure out a different way to process, attack it. Okay, don't take it too personal. Just look at what he said in context. Focus on that, not the message. Yeah. And then look back. Okay, I might be tripping a little bit. Okay, humbly come back. I'm sorry. Let me do this. But yeah, it's probably not going to be the last time you yell at him. But
it's not.
Nevertheless, but I'm sure both of y'all have your own different growth curves. We'll definitely have to dive in that at a different podcast. But yeah, this is great.
Thank you.
But I'm happy for you. Looking forward to the conversations and the big day and just looking from afar like, oh, okay. I ain't giving no you. Right. Listen, I live by the principle that if you don't ask for my advice, I don't give it. Like if you don't come, if you don't ask, my opinion ain't needed. I'm gonna keep it to myself and me and Sparkle, and we'll say our opinion, and we'll show up and all that good stuff in grand glory. Unless you like tripping.
Like you tripping.
Like, hey bro, come here. I don't know what done got into you, but you losing it right now.
Right. You need to chill out.
I need what you need. What do you need to? You need a break. You need to vent real quick. Like what's the situation here? But yeah, that's definitely as great for you. I'm happy for you. I'm glad. There's unexpected surprise, unexpected development.
In the storyline.
In the storyline, didn't know it was happening this soon. So, but yeah, because Ken actually, I think he commented on one of the shows, and he was like, the last episode was a great lead in to this moment.
Yes.
The other side of 30. But yeah, so it's good. You taking it all in still?
Yeah, I am. I really am. I was telling Ken last night, I was like, I think I just need like a day to like process everything, because like literally, so it's like Sunday happened. I got up Monday, had to go to work, had a work meeting.
Yep.
Was doing everything Monday. Went to work yesterday. It was bananas. Work today has been bananas. Like I've been running. Like, and Wednesdays are my long days, so it's like I think I'm gonna take some time on Saturday.
Yeah, more than likely Saturday.
To just breathe. And I also have to grade because I'm behind on grading. Like life. Y'all pray for me.
It is your 30th birthday. I give you a little grace.
Y'all pray for me these next few days. And just
Is it the 6-week mark coming up? Where? Oh yeah. Okay. Y'all, Sarah is a college whole adjunct professor out here in these streets, so she got to do grading and she's teaching online classes. So.
And my class end next week.
Oh, so that means you got to have everything submitted. Otherwise, you're going to be getting them. Professor Benson.
And not only that, I'm going on a cruise next week. And so and my grades are due the Monday I get off the boat. So like I have to have everything done before I get on the boat, which, you know, I'm going down a day early. And so I'm literally getting there a day before everybody else gets there, and I'm going to be like holed up in my hotel room grading and submitting everything, because I literally will be getting off of a boat the day my grades are due. So that's why I said y'all pray for me. When y'all think about me in y'all's prayers these next few days, just send one up for you, girl. Please. Please.
Great. So by the time you guys get this, you'll be hopefully getting on the boat by the time they hear this.
Well, no, I'll get on the boat the next day.
It's on the 6th.
Yeah.
On my birthday. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be on the boat on the 6th.
Okay.
So y'all pray that I get my work done
Before
I get on this boat. Before I hop on this boat. Cause woo, child. Yeah.
Do I need to go into the accountability cam again?
No, I'm gonna get it done.
I was about to say, 'cause I can turn it up. You know, I can turn.
I know. No, it's gonna get done. I just have to just take the time to do it really and truly. So that's probably gonna be my Saturday, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do. So thank you all so much. I do want to shout out everybody who has liked or commented or called or text. Like, you all are just the absolute greatest. I am still in the process of responding to people, because we had over like 200 comments on like just one post. So thank you all for your support for my birthday and for this new journey of life. I appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Facts. Absolutely.
I also want to thank all of our listeners and commenters and followers on Instagram. Your support is excellent. I think we are over 100 streams.
Yeah.
As far as the audio, and on the YouTube, we're well over 200.
We appreciate you all listening to us.
So yeah,
week in and week out.
Right. So gonna keep bringing you some good content. I know we kind of talked about, this whole proposal situation, but I hope you guys get something out of it. I know we didn't slow down, break it down like we normally do, but I feel like this was good, and I think it was really needed for Sarah, who hadn't gotten a chance to just sit down and really just, I love him.
Right.
I'm so excited.
It's been a whirlwind, but I am excited, and I do love him. Thank you, babe. So I know you're probably listening to this when this comes out. Mm-hmm. I do love you, and I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I think that's it. I don't think I have any announcements this week. I think, yeah. So, all right. I think that's about all for now. I think the things that are running through my mind to announce, I'm gonna wait until the next podcast and we, figure all that out. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you give us those 5 stars so we can keep rising up on the ranking. Every time you like, share, comment, all that good stuff, it makes it available so other people can see it on their timeline. So make sure you're doing that. Share something that really spoke to you about this podcast. Maybe you're thinking about getting engaged. Maybe you're thinking about proposing. Like, take all this in. Let us know your thoughts. We're looking forward to seeing you next Thursday right here. Bringing it all together. So until next time, peace, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.